Hello everyone, welcome to the course of mobile application development. In today's class, we are going to learn a new topic called Android development tools. So, in order to develop the Android, we require several tools where one of the first software or the tool what we consider is an Android Studio. In the previous video, we have already seen different stages of using the Android Studio, and majorly we will be going for an Java programming or Kotlin programming for developing an app in the Android Studio. So starting from creating a project till we publish, okay, we will be going through several phases in the Android Studio for developing an app. Okay, once the app is developed, it should be tested whether it's working smoothly or perfectly fine. Okay, now there are two ways of testing this particular Android applications. One is the hardware way and another one is through virtual mode. Okay, so considering the first one, hardware way, like uh, this mobile phone, suppose we have developed an app using an Android Studio. First, what we need to do every time we try to test an Android app through Android Studio, we need to make that particular app which we have developed, install it into a smartphone, and we need to test it. So what's happening? It's every time we try to test that particular app, we are trying to install that into a mobile phone and we are using it, and we are finding out how that particular app is performing. So it's an old and the traditional way of testing an app through a smartphone. Now, in spite of that, so we can have several tools such that you can estimate the performance of an app or the application which we have designed. Okay. So in that priority, we have the first one. Apart from the Android Studio, the tool what we have is an Android emulator. So this particular Android emulator is a perfect tool for testing and debugging our apps. So it's almost behaves like a original or an hardware phone, and how the performance is done or tested in the smartphone, same way this app can be emulated under the Android emulator. So it is the best tool for testing and debugging, and this emulator will be having an implementation of Dalvik virtual machine. So we all know, right? Dalvik virtual machine is majorly used for producing high performance with best memory management and battery management, right? So same way, this app can be tested under the Android emulator. Now, apart from Android emulator, we have an Android virtual device. Almost how a phone behaves, same way this software or the Android virtual device behaves. Okay, so it provides almost all the functionality of a real device. You can also take the incoming phone calls and read the text messages as well. Okay, so it's a kind of simulation of a hardware phone into a software. So this Android virtual device will be simulating an applications like how much CPU is utilized, how much memory is utilized, what is the RAM consumed, what are the images and the galleries, or what are the size of the files it consumed, how much GPU it has, that app is considered. Each and every parameter can be observed through this Android virtual device. Okay. So not only that, this virtual device can also access the Google Play Store. Okay, and do every thing almost a real smartphone or a mobile phone does. Okay, so this is one of the tool in order to have the testing performance with respect to the app we develop, or we can test the phone with respect to the applications. Now, coming to the third tool, we have Dalvik debug monitor service. So this particular emulator makes our or lets our application or an app which we develop will be monitoring how our app looks, how our app behaves, and how our app interacts. Okay, so everything can be monitored using this Dalvik debug monitor service. So as the name indicates, it's It is based on the Dalvik virtual machine. Again, it will be giving you the best performance with respect to saving the memory or doing the memory management at the battery management. It also looks after the active processors, stack and the heap, and also it will be watching over the active threads and exploring the file systems. Everything can be done with this particular DDMS. Okay. And it also monitors the log details. Okay. Of each and everything generated by the log cat. So it can be monitored over ATT plugins, and all these several options or applications are available through this particular Dalvik Debug Monitor Service, DDMS. Okay, so Android emulator along with the tools like Android Virtual Device and the DDMS Dalvik Debug Monitor Service. These are the tools in order to check the performance of our phones while using the applications. Okay, thank you.